Schiff, who was a Democrat of 12 terms from Burbank, leads 28% of possible voters, including those who are undecided but aimed at supporting him. 14 A type of statistics ATIEWORD. Republicans James Bradley and Eric are left behind with an early 7%, while the Democratic and old news anchor Christina Pascucist 4%. The findings show a significant blow from previous surveys of the race for Garvey. Since he declared his candidacy in the month, he continued to exist with a minimum campaign with limited public opinion. Meanwhile, high-level Democrats are moving to state to make the base of most of year's parties. If first two cannot reinforce GOP voter, Garvey cannot reinforce GOP voters. There will be a blow for California Republicans who are struggling in statewide races and risk of locking from competition in November. Schiff's leadership is strengthened with advantages for Democrats, former voters and men. Among the Democratic voters who define their own, Schiff easily leaves both Porter and Lee. Porter and Lee are competitive among young voters. 3 Democrats are essentially linked to voters born in 1997 or higher. 12% very far behind. Schiff won 3 major Democratic candidates as only man and his biggest choice of 54% male Democrats in survey. However, Schiff has a light institution above both Porter and Lee. The primary also made ideological differences between Democratic candidates and Schiff, the leading Porter and Lee of possible liberally defining themselves liberally. The only major Afro American candidate, Lee, has a subtle advantage with black voters. While expressing a small number of differences on 3 Democratic policies, the ongoing Israeli-Hamas war was a rare flare point in the race. Lee, an anti-Savaş symbol, called a ceasefire for the ceasefire immediately after Hamas' October 7 attack. He reiterated his crying. Schiff opposes a ceasefire that argues that Israel has the right to defend itself even as it should try to limit the losses between Palestinian civilians. This position is in line with attitude of Biden management. He followed the leadership of President until their beginning. In questionnaire, probably primary voters are divided. 40 say that U.S. is in right amount to help Israel in war with Hamas. 27% a lot of things for Israel and 19 do not enough. It is more likely than Democrats or independents to say that the Republicans do not do enough for Israel, but that differences are modest. 33% of Porter voters are currently doing a lot of U.S. to help Israel. Schiff, Garvey and Lee are slightly more than their supporters. PoliticoMorning Advisory Survey 1519 December before Porter's ceasefire support. The questionnaire has explored 858 possible voters online with a combination of participation sampling methods and has a plus or minus 3% point error. Shepard reported from Arlington, Virginia.